Welcome to Martini Time on Memorial Day. I hope you're having a good day. You notice I got a lapel mic because some people complained that they couldn't hear the video, and so I got a little lapel mic, so see if that helps with the sound. So, Memorial Day, a good day for movies, so I watched a movie recommended by Rachel Maddow, which was the War Machine, Netflix movie. And it was about that general, if you remember, that had an interview in Rolling Stone, and he got fired. And so it was about that general that was sent to Afghanistan to fix it. And he was a hotshot general, and he went in with a can-do American attitude. We're going to straighten this place out. And he had his entourage with him. And they were a hotshot team. And he wanted more troops. And Obama didn't want to give him more troops. So he went to Europe to get NATO people to give more troops. And all the while he was giving an interview with Rolling Stone, who was reporting on their behavior, one of which was a drunken riot across Europe because they couldn't get a plane to ride because of volcanic ash. But anyway, the story is about the American war machine. So it's really a critique of our war machine that the movie I watched last night was on Destination Tokyo. And the World War II was when we built our war machine, if you remember. And it was very successful. We defeated two armies on either side of the world. Huge machine. And before that, we had no war machine. So, but ever since then, our magnificent war machine has not been so successful. Korea and stalemate, and we're still fighting that war. Vietnam, and that war destroyed us. It ended we lost. And then Iraq and Afghanistan, and we're still fighting that. So the war machine is like a tank stuck in this mud, a tank stuck in the sand. The wheels are spinning. Something is wrong. Something, we have no great land armies to fight, like the Nazis and the Japanese Empire. They had a center. They had Hitler had Berlin, and Japan had Tokyo. These were centers, and the land army could be defeated, and you could knock down that center, and that would be the end of it. That's the way wars used to be. But the world has changed, and we no longer have national armies. Well, we had a Cold War, but we never went to a fighting war. But the Cold War ended too, usually ended in exhaustion. We didn't defeat the Soviets. They just couldn't keep up. They just collapsed. So this movie was really a look at the American war machine, and I was been writing about that today, and think it's kind of like a meat grinder that grinds up sacrifice, and every decade there's a new war to sacrifice to grind up more soldiers and spit them out and leave them in veteran hospitals committing suicide, PTSD and all that, the aftermath of the war. And yet there'll be a new generation of gung-ho soldiers willing to die for the cause, you see. So what's the cause? It reminds me of the Civil War, which is still going on. I've been writing about that. The cause just the reenactment of that war just changes uniform, changes clothes, changes times, but the liberal invading North is still coming down to take away our freedom, and they're evil, and so forth. But I don't want to get back in that. But this movie was really very insightful in that it took a hard look at the American war machine and what drives it. Why do we have to be number one? Why do we have to win at all cost? Why do we have to? It's funny about the America today. It's only we can't accept the we can't accept the reality of the world today, which is globalization, which is a greater unity, which is interconnectivity, which is the many working together instead of one being the top. In other words, this idea of a pyramid, where number one, we have to be number one. But the world today is more like a circle. Instead of having a table where America is at the head of the table, it's more like a circle where everybody has an equal place. This is a different paradigm. This is a different mythology. The mythology of the pyramid and the mythology of the circle are two different realities. You could say one is male, one is female. This is the male paradigm with the father at the top, the male, and everyone else down in lower ranks. And you have the circle, which everybody has an equal position, an equal value, you see. These are two different realities, and these that kind of simplifies it, but the pyramid is no longer functional, and now the circle is functional. But the pyramid is slow to die. The pyramid, like the Egyptian pyramids, still stands, you see. It doesn't realize it's dead. So, and all of this is crumbling. Even just as I walked into the room, Trump is thinking about asking for more troops in Afghanistan. And yet he ran on America First. Come back. No more foreign involvements. No, don't be a savior of the world. You don't have to be number one in the world. Come back and take care of America. But yet, we need more troops in Afghanistan. So this movie is very timely because we're on the urge of reinvesting in the sands of Afghanistan. And like the British Empire, the American Empire seems to be replacing the British Empire and going through the same mistakes they went through, fighting tribal societies. Afghanistan is not a national army like Hitler or Japan, you see. It's a tribal society. And when you intervene in a tribal society in order to help them, all they want to do is get you out. You are a thorn. You're a disturbance, even though you come with a help. This is what the movie was about. The general wanted to come. This hand is here to help you. And the Afghan villagers saying, just please leave. Just leave. Just please leave, you know. But we're here to help you, you see. The helping hand. We're here to save you. And this seems to be an American passion, and it's also a Christian passion. So in this way, we're kind of like fitting into the old Christian Western Empire, where the Bible and the gun is coming to bring civilization to the Aboriginal tribal people and give them rational order and healthcare and Walmarts and movies and advertising and all the comforts that we enjoy. Make the world safe for Walmart. See? Wait, make the world safe for Walgreens. and make the world safe for McDonald's, you see. And so these tribal societies, perhaps they don't want McDonald's. So maybe the cities convert, but the rural areas don't convert. And the same way with our country. The cities convert, but the rural areas don't, So we have red rural areas, and we have the blue cities that are corporate and global and plurality, and the rural areas have a different mythology, and they have they don't want to be helped. So anyway, but the movie was very interesting because it really did, on this Memorial Day, it really did kind of pry open this American machine that can't stop running. And if you notice today, particularly how we spend all of our time, we honor and remember all of the fallen, all of the veterans. The veterans are our heroes. And the cemeteries are the sacred ground. And yet the machine. I've put a picture up on this of Kali. The machine seems to be bloodthirsty. The machine is kind of like the Aztecs. It needs blood sacrifice. The machine needs to have human sacrifice. It needs to have fresh blood in order to keep its energy going. One generation dies out, another one comes in. You see, a new generation of heroes to die for the cause of being number one, of winning at all cost, of being the top of the pyramid, you see. So this is a paradigm. This is it's something that's being questioned, and it's something our politics are fighting about, and it's creating a great turmoil and neurosis in our country, because when you have two paradigms clashing, it creates great uncertainty and confusion and anger and violence and disturbance, and people think the end of the world is coming. And it's basically the clash of mythologies. And this is what happens in times of great historical change, like between the Middle Ages and the Enlightenment, or at the end of the Roman Empire, or when great civilizations died and new ones rose. So we're kind of like in that place right now, and it's a very creative time and a very destructive time. It's the best of worlds and the worst of worlds. So watch the movie. It's a good watch for the weekend, for Memorial Day. Thank you.